And now we turn over to Sarah Dolinar, who will share our reading as our Worship Guild Associate this morning. Mary Oliver's Wild Geese.
You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal part of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair. Yours, and I'll tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things.
Thank you, Sarah. You know who isn't going anywhere? The wombats. Do you remember back before the pandemic really hit? Australia was burning. The whole continent was on fire. And wombats, they burrowed underground. They burrowed in burrows so large that other mammals and animals survived too. Original reports said that wombats ushered animals in, and while wombats don't shepherd other animals, at least they live in a reality us humans don't really comprehend. They live with the reality that other species live with them. They knew something instinctively that we humans are just beginning to understand, that their survival is dependent on the survival of the animals around them. And this isn't just about burning or drowning, but the everyday reality of life. In this pandemic, we have learned the unique values of our pets and animals in our lives. They are our social interaction. They are our constant companions. And the animals are our neighbors. Animals are just as social as human beings and often know exactly what we are feeling. In this time of social distancing, when socializing with other humans is so hard and difficult, more dogs and cats are being adopted than ever before. It's as if the world population woke up and remembered that we are not alone in the world as a species. We actually have many companions. And the animals definitely didn't forget. If anything, in the year 2020, animals made sure we knew that this was their Earth too. Dolphins were found swimming in the Venice canals, wild boars crossing the road in Israel. A wild cougar ran into an apartment building in Chile, and more pink flamingos than ever before came to Albania to mate. Animals everywhere are rediscovering places once dominated by human life. And the reality is that our human ways of living, our societal and cultural emphasis on the human species as being superior, is one of the many factors that has devastating effects of climate change. By living and building human lives as if we were alone on the earth, we have perpetuated a rise in the extinction of several species on Earth. If we keep living this way, we're helping to create a future where our species may very well be alone. That is why it's so important to honor and bless the animals in our lives, grounding ourselves in the seventh principle, the awareness of the interconnected web of life that we are a part of. It helps us live fuller and better lives, understanding just how we humans depend on other species and on our environment to live and thrive. It helps us name what will make this world continue to evolve. We do not grow alone. We evolve with our animal companions. There is so much in this world today that feels like just too much. That feels like the despair that Mary Oliver talks about in this poem. This week alone, the news cycle felt too much political divisiveness, too much disregard for human life, the injustice of the indictment around the killing of Breonna Taylor in her home, so much grief for family and friends, and too many natural disasters to keep track of. But as often our animal companions remind us, we are not alone. And the reminders of just how connected we are often don't always come from other people, but from the animals in our lives. While I myself don't own a pet, animals have impacted me. I rush online to see videos of people's dogs and cats to enjoy compassion and connection and happiness. I feel a rush of calm whenever I see animal videos, my favorite being an animal video of a baby elephant learning to walk that I rush to on days when I'm stressed. And while I myself don't have a pet, I have many friends who do. Jennifer Maroney shares she would not have survived without her dog, Tallulah. Tallulah is her best friend and companion, helps her with her anxiety, and has never been more than 6 feet apart. My friend Kimberly Davis shares that for those whose love language is physical touch and affection, pets have really helped people physically feel loved and cared for during this pandemic. My friend Teddy talks about the livestock that they raise in their backyard and all the lessons they learn from them. Teddy says, quote, "When you raise an animal from birth and shepherd it through death, you are creating an incredibly intimate bond that only increases your understanding of our human dependence on animals. You feel connected to your ancestors, and you understand more about how they lived." End quote. My college friend Alex Armstrong shares that her dog Rose comes to life with so much love and enthusiasm even at 6 o'clock in the morning. Rose reminds her of what's important when things feel overwhelming and makes her laugh even when she's about to cry. Sarah shared this quote from the New York Times from Bob Peterson. She says, quote, "I collected reptiles as a kid, and our yard has several blue-bellied lizards hanging around. So he started buying mealworms and feeding them by hand. They were fearful at first, but now when they come out, they run to my feet, and they take the worms from my fingers. I cannot get them to wear masks, though, so far." End quote. My friend Liz Roper says her dog helps her wake up and appreciate the fresh air on walks she takes. My friend Audrey says her dog Sky has helped her with her depression by getting her out of bed and being a good snuggler and helping her even though she can't see her family. And I know that you all have reflections yourself of the experiences and ways that animal companionship have helped you, which we'll share in our coffee hour together. In these difficult times, let us look to our pets and animals. Those creatures who do not know of the news cycles, but they do know of our routines as intimately as we do, who do know exactly how we're feeling, who offer us playfulness and joy and companionship, no matter how hard or easy the days have been. Those animals who live as beings of unconditional love and steadfast presence. May we bless and honor the animals, pets, and many furry, feathered, and scaled friends in our lives. For the love and companionship of other species, can often remind us of what is at the heart of being human, of compassion, of mercy, of nature, of kindness and joy. For as Mary Oliver says, animals remind us, you do not have to be good. You only have to love what the soft animal of your body loves. You only have to remember our place in the family of things. Let's share this community blessing together. I'll read it for you, and this is on behalf of our community. We bless all animals. We bless those we know and love. We bless those unknown to us who have benefited our lives. We bless even the ones that can harm us, affirming with humility their place in the interdependent web. We affirm the impulse for humans to live in right relationship with other animals on this earth. May we honor our best presence as part of the human family. This community blessing are words written and shared by the Reverend Karen G. Johnston. We will now take our offertory this morning. As you know, it is the many gifts of this congregation that help to bless each other. You will see in the chat the links of ways that you can give. If you have a credit or debit card, please go to our giving page and scroll down to the yellow PayPal donate button. If you have a PayPal or Venmo account, please give to our PayPal charity page. However you give, you can also write checks and send them to our congregation. But however you give, please know that it helps benefit this community and keeps us blessing each other for days and days, forever and ever. I also now invite the offertory, bless the beasts and the children.